Anuradha, Department of Microbiology, Dean, Faculty of Science from Chaitanya Deemed to be University. Dear viewers, in the last video, we had studied about the complement system and we have studied the classical pathway. In this particular video, we shall be going into the other two pathways of complement system, that is the alternate pathway and the Manon-Lectin pathway. So coming to this Manon-binding lectin pathway, this pathway is almost homologous to our classical pathway. The Manon-Lectin pathway uses a protein very similar to C1q to trigger the complement cascade. In this pathway also, all the proteins will appear in form of a cascade. That is, one protein triggering or activating the other protein. Manon-Lectin binds specifically to mannose residues on the pathogen surfaces. It is present in very low concentration in normal plasma, and during acute phase reactions, this production mostly increases in our liver. Now this lectin pathway is activated by binding of mannose binding lectin to mannose residues on glycoprotein or carbohydrates on the surface of microorganisms. It is an acute phase protein produced in inflammatory response. Mannan binding lectin forms a complex which we, especially with two proteases, we call it as Mannan binding lectin associated serine proteases MASP1 and MASP2, which are closely homologous to our C1q, C1r and C1s, and these are the one which activate C14 and C2. So as you can see the diagram here, it almost resembles the C1 complex which we have seen in the classical pathway. So you can see MASP1 and MASP2 attaching to the immunoglobulin. The other part of this particular Manon-Lectin pathway is similar to our classical pathway. So the other cascade which occurs in the same way as we have seen in the classical pathway. The next pathway we have is alternate pathway. It is also called as properdin pathway. And this is activated independent of immunoglobulins. When we are talking about classical pathway, we said it is only triggered in the presence of antibodies, that is IgM and IgG. But this pathway takes place without any independent of that particular immunoglobulin. It is mostly activated by bacterial, fungal, plant polysaccharides, lipopolysaccharides, other molecules, and also by certain antibody aggregates that do not bind to C1q, and therefore these are unable to initiate the classical pathway. So those antibodies which are unable to initiate the classical pathway are mostly triggered by this particular pathway. So as you can see here, these are the initiators of alternate pathway of complement activation. Like we have many strains of gram-negative bacteria, lipopolysaccharides from gram-negative bacteria, teichoic acids from gram-positive bacteria, fungal and yeast cells which mostly trigger this particular pathway, some viruses and viral infected cells, even some tumor cells, some parasites like trypanosomonas. So these are some of the pathogens which mostly trigger or initiate alternate pathway. We also have some non-pathogens like human IgA, IgE in complexes, rabbit and guinea pig IgG in complexes, cobra venom factor, heterologous erythrocytes especially of rabbit, mouse and chicken, and also pure carbohydrates like agarose and inulin. So these are the substances, or these are the, you can call it as the initiators of our alternate pathway. Now in alternate pathway, it bypasses the events of some of the events of our classical pathway. So finally the membrane attack complex is similar in both alternate pathway as well as in classical pathway, but in alternate pathway the first few events it bypasses. So what are the events that are bypassed? It mostly bypasses the events which occur by C1 and C2. So in this particular place of C1 and C2, this pathway involves two other serum proteins called as factor B and factor D. Okay students. So this pathway involves two other serum proteins other than C12 and C1 and C2, that is factor B and factor D. The complement protein has an unstable thioester bond that is hydrolyzed to generate C3 and C3I, it is called as. This activation of C3, which is mostly called as tick over activation. So this is a diagram showing the activation of C3. So you can see here that this C3 is activated to form C3b and C3a. Now this factor B now binds to C3I to form a complex called as C3IB. A small fragment called BA is now cleaved from factor B and this combines to form C3I capital B and small b. This C3I capital B and small b is now called as the C3 convertase. It is called as C3 convertase because it splits C3 into C3A and C3B. C3b now binds to the microbial cells and combines with factor B to produce C3 small b and capital B. Factor B to form C3b, capital B and again small b. Now this C3 small b, capital B and small b is stabilized by properdin and this is the one which stabilizes the complex. Now this complex, that is C3 small b, capital B and small b, is a C3 convertase that splits C3 to more C3A and C3B, which combine with factor B in a continuous feedback loop. So C3BB also can bind to C3B to form a very big complex, like we have C3B, capital B, small b, again C3b, capital B, small b, and this is called as the C5 convertase. This C5 convertase, just like our classical pathway, splits C5 into C5a and C5b. At this point, from this particular point, the alternate pathway is similar in the cascade as we have seen in the classical pathway where the sequence of membrane attack takes place. So this pathway does not require an antibody. It is an example of non-specific resistance. So once the C5 convertase is formed, which splits C5A to C5B, we have C6, C7, C8 and all the components of C9 coming to form a pore on the membrane and crystallizing that particular pathogen. So this is a diagram which is showing us the same alternate pathway. So here the C3 hydrolyzes C3b fragment which attaches to the foreign surface. Then we have the factor B which binds to C3A which exposes the site which is acted upon by factor B and this cleavage generates C3b, capital B, small b, which is nothing but our C3 convertase. Then this particular is now the binding of properdin takes place which stabilizes the convertase. Convertase generates many number of C3b and some bind to again C3b, activating C3 convertase and to antigenic surfaces. Now coming to the relationship between the factors of alternate, classical and Mannan binding lectin pathways. Coming to the initiating serine proteases. In case of alternate pathway, it is the D, that is factor D. In case of Mannan binding lectin, it is MASP, that is Mannan serine proteases. Whereas in classical pathway, it is C1S, which is homologous. Now coming to the covalent binding to the cell surfaces, we have C3b in case of alternate pathway, C4b in case of both Mannan lectin as well as in classical pathway, again which are homologous. Coming to C3 and C5 convertases, the protein serving the function is B, that is factor capital B and small b, whereas in case of both Mannan lectin as well as in classical pathway, we have C2b, which are again homologous. Now coming to the control of activation, here it is CR1H, whereas here it is the C4 capital B small p, which are identically homologous. Coming to opsonization, in all the three pathways it is C3b which causes opsonization. Initiation of effector pathway is by C5b in all the three pathways. Coming to local inflammation, it is by C5a and C3a. Coming to stabilization, in case of alternate pathway, we have properdin, whereas in case of classical and Mannan lectin, there is no need of any activation. So this is a pictorial diagram showing all the three class pathways in one diagram. We have the classical pathway, we have the lectin pathway, and we have the alternate pathway. Finally, it is the membrane attack complex that is most important in this particular pathway. Now coming to the terminal components of these pathways, in all the three pathways, the terminal components are similar. So we have the C5, that is C5a and C5b. Then we have the C6, which binds to C5a and what we call accepts C7. Then we have C7, which binds to the C5-6 and it forms the lipid bilayer. Then we have C8 which binds to C5, B, 6 and 7, and finally we have C9 which forms a membrane, what you call spanning the membrane, forming a pore and lysing that particular bacterium. Now coming to the regulatory components of complement system, C1 inhibitor. So we have an inhibitor for C1 called as C11NH. So this binds to the activated C1R, C1S, removing it from C1Q. Then we have C4 binding factor, also called as C4BP, which binds to C4B, displacing C2B, cofactor for C4B and also cleavage. Then we have complement receptor 1 called as CR1, which binds to C4, displacing C2A and C3b. Then we have factor H, which mostly binds to C3b, displacing the cofactor. Then we have factor 1, which mostly has a binding affinity to serine proteases, which cleaves C3b and C4b. Then we have DAF, decay accelerating factor, which is a membrane protein that displaces capital B, small b from C3b, C2b and C4b. Then we have membrane cofactor protein, also called as MCP, membrane protein that promotes or C3b and C4b from inactivation. Then the last one we have is CD59, which is a protectin which prevents formation of membrane attack complex. These are the proteins that regulate the complement system. We have C1 inhibitor, that is C1INH, which is a soluble protein, mostly seen in the classical pathway. Serine protease inhibitor, which causes C1R to dissociate from C1Q. So it prevents the C1 complex. Then we have the C4 binding factor, which is again soluble, present in classical and lectin pathway, which blocks the formation of C3 convertase. Then we have factor H, which is again a soluble protein, which is mostly present in alternate pathway, blocks formation of C3 convertase by binding to C3b. Then we have complement receptor type 1 called as CR1, CD35 and membrane cofactor protein, also called as MCP, which is a membrane bound protein present in classical, alternate and lectin pathways, which block the formation of C3 convertase. Then we have DAF, that is decay accelerating factor, which is again membrane bound, classical, present in classical, alternate and lectin pathways, which accelerates dissociation of the classical and alternate convertases. Then we have factor 1, which is again a soluble protein, present in all the three pathways, and this prevents serine proteases cleaves C4b and C3b using some factors like factor H, DAE, MCP as cofactors. Then we have S protein, which is again soluble terminal. It is mostly present for the terminal pathways, that is in the membrane attack complex, binds soluble C5b, 6, 7 and prevents insertion into the cell membrane. In the same way, we have S protein, which is again soluble, mostly causes the irregulation of the terminal part, binds to the soluble C5b, 6, 7 and prevents insertion into the cell membrane, also blocking the C9. Then we have the homologous restriction factors and a thyrotoxin inactivator. These are also regulate our pathways. So this is a diagram showing the stages at which complement activity is regulated. So you can see the different phases where the complement can be regulated. So on the left side you can see how the complement system takes place. On the other side you can see how it is regulated. So regulation of complement system, we can divide it into three categories. Before assembly of convertase activity, that is before formation of C3 convertase. So what is the regulation? C1 inhibitor. We have C1 inhibitor which binds to our C1 complex, causing dissociation of C1q, because only when it is associated it helps in attaching to the other component, that is C2. The second one is association of C4b and C2a is blocked by binding C4b binding protein, that is C4b capital BP, or complement receptor type 1 or membrane cofactor protein, that is MCB. Then we have inhibitor which binds to C4b which is cleaved by factor I. In the alternate pathway, we have C1, CR1, MCP and factor H which prevent the binding of C3b and factor B. Then we have inhibitor which binds to C3b that is cleaved by factor I. So as you can see here, these are the inhibitors or regulation of complement pathway which takes place before the assembly of convertase activity. Now after the assembly of convertase, C3 convertases can be dissociated by C4b, capital B, P, CR1, factor H and also decay accelerating factor called as DAH. So all these things can help in dissociation of convertase, helping so that this particular convertase will not be able to break down the either the C3A to C3A and C3B. Then we have regulation and assembly of membrane attack complex. So we have S protein which prevents insertion of C5b, 6, 7 into the membrane attack component in the membrane. So once this membrane attack component is not inserted, the pore will not be formed. We have homologous restriction factor or membrane inhibitor which with reactive lysis which prevent the assembly of poly C9, because many number of C9 components they assemble together to form the membrane attack complex. So comparison of classical and alternate complement pathways. So here we can see the different types of reactions that take place in all the three pathways. So we have antigen-antibody complexes. Then we have, in case of alternate pathway, it is the microorganisms which initiate this particular pathway. All this pathway finally form the C3 convertase which is similar in all the two pathways, and finally the terminal sequences, that is the membrane attack complex, is again similar in both the pathways. Now coming to the functional protein classes in the complement system, so we have the C1q which binds to antigen-antibody complex and pathogen surfaces. Then we have MBL present in the mannose lectin pathway which helps in binding to mannose of bacteria. Then we have activating enzymes. This includes C1R, C1S, C2D, BP. Then we have MASP1, MASP2. Then we have membrane binding proteins and opsonins, C4b, C3b. Then we have peptide mediators which help in inflammation, that is C5a, C3a and C4a. Then we have membrane attack proteins, which are nothing but C5b, C6, C7, C8 and large number of C9 proteins. Then we have complement receptors. They are called as CR1, CR2, CR3, CR4 and C1QR, and complement regulatory proteins, that is C1, N1H, C4BP, MCP, DAF, factor H, factor I and CD59. So coming to the summary, what happens in what are the biological effects due to this complement process? Cell lysis takes place with the help of C5b and 9 and the membrane attack complex. We have inflammatory response like degranulation of mast cells and basophils, degranulation of eosinophils, then chemotaxis of leukocytes, aggravation of platelets, then inhibition of monocytes and induction of their spreading, release of neutrophils from bone marrow, release of hydrolytic enzymes from neutrophils, and increased expression of complement receptors. So these are the proteins which mostly help in such type of inflammatory response. Then we have opsonization of particulate antigens which increase their phagocytosis like C3b, C4b. Then we have viral neutralization by C3b and all the components which are present in the membrane attack complex. And then we have solubilization and clearance of immune complexes by C3b. So this is a diagram showing a live bacteria that has entered into our system. And the next slide shows the same bacteria is killed with our complement system. As you can see, the pores being formed on that particular bacteria. This is how, as you can see, the pores it has entered into that particular bacteria and killed that particular bacteria. Now, these are some of the mechanism of evasion by our complement system. So coming to long polysaccharide chains, these chains prevent insertion of MAC into bacterial membranes. Example include resistant strains of E. coli and Salmonella. Then we have outer membrane proteins where MAC interacts with membrane protein and fails to insert into the bacterial membrane, especially resistant strains of Neisseria and Gunneria. Then we have elastase. Aphylotoxins C3A and C5A are inactivated by some membrane elastase, especially seen in Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Coming to gram-positive bacteria, peptidoglycan layer of cell wall. Sometimes insertion of MAC into bacterial cell wall is prevented because gram-positive have a very thick peptidoglycan layer. Example you can give is Streptococcus. Then we have bacterial capsule. Capsule also provides a physical barrier between C3b components so that it is not able to phagocytose that particular cell, especially seen in Streptococcus pneumonia. Coming to other microbes, proteins which mimic the complement regulatory proteins. Proteins present in various bacteria, virus, fungi, protozoan inhibit the complement cascade like Vaccinia virus, Herpes virus, Epstein-Barr virus, Trypanosoma and Candida albicans. So this is how the activation of complements take place. You can see IgG is initiated or active. The presence of IgG activates our complement system. You can see C3b convertase coming there, and then finally phagocytosis of the bacteria takes place. So this is the membrane attack complex. These are the pores, an electron pictograph or a micrograph showing the pores on the bacterial membrane. So these are the pores which are formed by our classical pathway or alternate pathway. This is another diagram showing or a picture showing the membrane attack complex. And this is how the pores are formed, from which the bacteria gets lysed because of the oozing of all the components which are present inside that particular bacterium. So coming to the deficiency of this complement system, what happens if complement system does not act? Or what happens if you have any deficiency in the proteins which are produced in the complement system? This is the one which mostly leads to recurrent microbial infection and also susceptibility to infection. Sometimes if the antigen-antibody complexes, if they are not removed, it can also cause some of the tissue damage. So dear viewers, This gives an overall view of the very important immunological process which goes on in our body, that is complement system. So in this video we have studied about complement system, the pathways of complement system and also the regulatory proteins of complement system. So that's all for today viewers. Next time we meet with another video. Thank you.